Victoria's East Gippsland was one of the areas worst affected by the recent bushfires, tearing through 1.2 million hectares, killing 2 and damaging some 6,000 buildings. But as the community looks to rebuild, you don't have to go there to make a difference. You can buy a coffee or a beer, pay for a haircut or a dozen eggs in East Gippsland, no matter where you are, via the It's My Shout virtual shopping website, helping to save local businesses in the process. It's My Shout founder Tenille Bull joins us on the line now from her home at Lakes Entrance. Tenille, thank you so much for joining us.
No worries. Thank you so much for having us.
You live and run a small business in East Gippsland, right in the heart of it, and as we said, that saw some of the worst of the bushfires last month. What was it like for you when the fires came through?
Yeah, it was pretty traumatic for a lot of us. So the fires didn't quite make it to Lakes Entrance, but we were given orders to evacuate. There was a threat that it wasn't actually going to stop until it hit the ocean, which meant that it was going to take out our whole town. So we evacuated for a whole entire week as the smoke was just so thick, and there was always that danger that the fires may get to us. But yeah, it was very traumatic, especially for our kids as well. Not something nice to have to go through.
And it's a very big time for tourism in your area. I know you also run a tourist operation. How much of an impact have the fires had on this crucial financial source?
Yeah, you are completely right. So Lakes Entrance, Meetung, Paynesville, lots and lots of coastal areas around East Gippsland depend on the summer months to survive basically for the remainder of the year. So about 80% of their income actually comes from the summer, and that's what helps to get them through. So I run some Airbnbs down in Lakes Entrance, and I had every single booking for January and February cancelled. And so just those 2 months worth of bookings pay my mortgages for those 3 properties for the whole year. So so many people are going to be in the same position. We don't know how we're going to survive, but I guess that's where the idea of this website came from, was to be able to help those affected to get back up on their feet.
And how did this experience lead you to establishing It's My Shout? Where did you get the idea?
Yeah, so basically while we were evacuated I think it was about 16 days ago, so it was very, very new, I was driving to register myself and my family for the Red Cross, so they knew where we were evacuated to, and I was just sort of thinking, like, how the heck am I going to pay my mortgages? And then I'm just like, well, maybe I could sell some nights accommodation and people could come and use them at a later date. And it sort of just really evolved from there, and I thought, well, why can't people buy like a virtual coffee? I just sort of started thinking bigger picture, like, how's our town going to survive this? How's our whole entire Shire area going to survive this basic natural disaster that's hit us? That's sort of where the idea came from, and I popped it in a Facebook group that's got lots of business women in it, and all of a sudden 24 hours later it was a thing.
It's more than a thing, it's going crazy. We're looking at some pictures now of your website. Can you explain how it actually works, what people can do?
Yeah, sure. So on the website, what you can do is you can shop by towns, you can shop by category. So, for example, if you want to purchase something from Buchan, which has been very heavily affected by the fires, it actually went through their main street. You can go to the pub, virtually go to the pub and buy a beer or buy coffee and cake, and the money goes directly to the business. So we're all volunteers doing this, so we're not taking any percentages. So you know exactly where your money's going. So you'll add that to your cart, you'll check out. So it works like a donation. But what we're actually finding is that there's so many of our businesses that are actually paying it forward. So there's a local cafe down here in Lakes Entrance, and every like, it could be a family meal or a coffee and cake that's been bought, they're actually giving those out as vouchers to the CFA to then go and pay forward to families that have lost their homes and families that are in need.
Oh, it's such a wonderful idea, and you've got about 220 businesses on board at last count. It is growing. What sort of impact has It's My Shout had on them? What have you heard back?
Oh, it's just been incredible, really, yes. So I think, as I said, we're about 16 days old. We've got 220 businesses in Gippsland, and we've got a database of about another 1,000 from all around Australia that want to jump on board that have been affected by the fires, especially from the south coast of New South as well as Kangaroo Island. So the response from our locals has been, as I said, incredible. They've they've got hope back. I guess that's the main thing that's come out of it, is it's all of a sudden it's restored hope to the community that they've got a chance that they're not going to have to close. So, yeah, some businesses it's put $10,000 back into their income to be able to keep staff on, to keep paying rent, to buy stock. So, yeah, it's been life-changing. I've had so many beautiful messages and phone calls and hugs down the street when I see people just saying thank you for, what we're doing.
And just briefly, do you know how much money's been raised so far?
Yeah, today I haven't checked. I didn't check since lunchtime, but we're up to about 73,000 at lunchtime and growing very, very rapidly. So, hoping to get the rest of the nation on this week coming, and blow it out of the water and help everybody. That's our biggest goal. Is we want to help everybody that's been affected by this fire, not just in East Gippsland but nationally.
It is a genius concept, and you should be very proud, Tenille Bull. Thank you so much.
No worries. Thanks for sharing.
Tenille Bull there from It's My Shout.